I got a little free time today. I'm gonna move my camera over actually. Oop. I need to go to the camera layer. Hope you enjoy those sound effects. That is the sound it makes when the camera on your screen moves over from the right side to the left side. I'm gonna turn this down so there's no weird echo. Actually, I forgot I need to have that turned up. Okay, so once again, if the audio for the game sounds like you can't hear it, let me know. Let me know in the chat. I have to update scripts. Done. Bam. Target the window. Bam. Steins. PC Steam. Mages. Steinsgate. Attach. Done and done. And then we go to our special window. Where did you go? Here we go. Agent. And now whatever comes up on screen will show up in this window and I can translate it very quickly. The goal is to play some Steinsgate, obviously. While I wait for some people to show up, I might do some very quick syncing and do some flashcards really quickly. I've done flashcards kind of off stream a few nights. Charming, voluptuous, glossy romance. Recall this left side of the kanji, abundant with color. We have abundant color expressing meaning 1, charming, voluptuous, glossy, or abundant eras expressing meaning 2, romance. I'm not going to remember that, but worth a shot. Back to studying Japanese class. Welcome, welcome. I got a second person. So I'm going to play Steinsgate here in a second, but I thought I would run through and do some flashcards real quick while we wait for a few more people to show up. We get to hear the beautiful Steinsgate music. Choldai, big and long. Perfect. Oops. Teikiken, commuter pass. Perfect. Now I'm going to do this later. Actually, I'm very interested in playing my game. So we will go ahead and jump in. Anybody that misses a little bit that wants to know what happened last week, well, just show up earlier. You know what I mean? So last time on Steinsgate, we were at this, some crazy stuff happened. I don't know, we just went right back to normal. We went to this press conference. This press conference is where there is this particular character on screen right now. This is Dr. Hitobachi. Dr. Hitobachi. And he's having a press conference because he invented a time machine. He successfully invented a time machine. We got there a bit early. There were only about 10 people or so. No press, no cameramen. We were a bit confused by that. Suddenly there was a big shaking, and we run upstairs. Feels like an explosion. We go to the roof, and on the roof we see this machine materialize out of thin air. There's sparks going around, and somebody runs out, and we aren't sure if they're with the press conference. We aren't sure if they are part of the building management, but they come out and they say, hey, go away. This is fine. Don't step near that thing. Just, walk away. And we do. We just leave. We go find our companion, Mayuri. We go track her down, and she's basically entranced by the gachapon. There's a particular machine. There's a particular set. There's a character that that she wants to get. She asks me to borrow 100 yen, and Rintaro says, no. You know what? I'm going to teach you a lesson. Kyoma is his chosen nickname. He says, I'm going to buy one. So he goes and he puts his own 100 yen coin in. Bop, bop, bop. He gets a super exclusive metal uppa. Rare. It's the rare one. Mayuri freaks out. She's like, oh my god, it's so cool. But he got it for himself. And she's got she's just a very, they say carefree. I would say a little bit naive, but not in a negative way. She's just very innocent. She's very pure. So she's just happy for him. She's happy he got the rare. He has no interest in this. And effectively, after a little bit of back and forth, he gives it to her. And he's just kind of like, you can have this, And she's again really excited. She writes the name on it, and then the press conference starts. They go in. This whole time before this, he had been talking about infiltrating enemy territory. And this is a counterpart. They're both in the same field studying time travel. The conference starts, he gets out, he's talking, and then Kyoma, or Rintaro, my character, he interrupts. He screams and starts accusing him. He's just kind of like, you are... I'm forgetting what he said. He basically was just kind of like, you aren't an inventor. He says, you're not an inventor. You're not like us. We're inventors. You're not an inventor. A lot of harsh criticism, and this guy's just like, prior to that was just like, what does it say? 背後から僕の手を掴んだ So there's somebody behind him? No, it's just the same thing. So urusai, he tells him to be quiet, and then behind him somebody's like basically like putting his hand on his shoulder, probably to kick Kyoma out. We lost our viewer, so I go back and do a couple of these. Ginza. Sure. This is Kakutsuke. I'm going to be distracted. I'm going to go back and forth between seeing this. It's going to make it really difficult. I want to edit all my playthrough content over into YouTube, and so I'm going to just go through cards really quickly so that it's all clean. Kazutsuke, sure. Kenka, yep. Nakaba, yep. Nakutemo, yep. Yoru, yep. Akushu, handshake. Is this hini? Yeah, we just take right there, yeah. Asagohan, yep. Harukani, yep. Nigiri, tsubusu, sure. Osebo, yep. Ichibu. Kumo hitotsunai. Yuigatokuson. We're just going through pretty fast. More so to get the cards done. I'm not going to put too particular... I say this every now and again. Sometimes it's if you can spend the time, dedicate the time, really go through, pour over each one, really think about it. But some days there are other things you've got to do. It's better to sit there and just speed through them to keep your count at 0. I would just say that they're good. If you know them or not, those come up again. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But it's a lot harder to go through 700 flashcards than to go through 80 quickly. If you're going to feel bad about what you did, I think it's better to feel bad about the fact that you didn't really pay attention through your flashcards than to keep seeing that number of unreviewed flashcards rise to a point where you just don't feel confident that you'll ever be able to tackle it. And it just throws things off. I want to learn 10 new words a day. If I don't go through my flashcards, I don't get to learn those 10 words. Those 10 words sit there until I do the flashcards. So it's reasons like that I'm just like, I'm just going to go through. I'm doing like I'm not really fully paying attention, but I'm just looking to see. And, it's not, some of these I know, some of them I don't. I'm just hitting the space bar over and over again. That's the keyboard shortcut for just saying like good. And I'm not putting too much thought into it. I know about 50-60% of these, and that's fine. New ones are kind of mixed in, but I'd rather have I'm seeing them, I'm seeing the definition. There are days where I just go through it and you can't even read it. I'm just hitting the button as fast as I can, like it's a Mario Party minigame. But on a day like today, I want to get a little bit of view on them, see them just a bit, and move on from there. It's a day where, again, I just have other things that I want to get accomplished, and this, if it feels like a chore, don't do it. Learning Japanese should be fun. And if this is the method I found to just have it feel less like a chore and not feel like I'm not falling behind. And also, I have no delusion that doing my flashcards is going to help me comprehend Japanese more than reading Japanese. So I'm going through this as quickly as possible because I'm going to play a game, I'm going to encounter, and I'll have much better luck really focusing on and learning a word through the context of playing it in a game than I am going to just from seeing this over and over again. That doesn't mean this is not a good thing to do. I think flashcards are still incredibly important. They help smooth out reading, but again, I learn the word, I understand what it means, but encountering that word while reading and in reading something you enjoy is what's going to help you internalize it and really keep that like actual meaning, actual use in your brain. Flashcards are good for just giving you familiarity with the word, but there are a lot of words that I'm familiar with, but I'm not confident in their use. I'm not confident in using them myself or the full the nuances of the meanings. So that's where my life is. Anyhow, so from behind, he feels the hand of somebody, some person. What is this? Te o, ore no te o, narimono ga tsukanda. So somebody's grabbed his hand from behind. Maybe it's Mayuri. Tekiri ore o tsumami de sou to suru. Something in ka to omoi. Nirami tsukeru. And I don't know the full rest of that. So, tekiri. Once again, if you hit shift in the screen, if you're in the game and you hit shift, it removes the text, which is probably great if you're just like, I really want to look at this image. I'm going to look at this photo. I don't really want to look at this guy. My character doesn't like him, and I don't like him either. He looks smug. He's not a real scientist. But I accidentally, when I'm holding shift over here, it lets me highlight the word, and I keep accidentally holding shift while this window is active. Tekiri, surely, without a doubt. Tekiri ore o tsuku tsumami da so. So surely they're going to throw me out. To suru. So surely they're about to try to throw me out. A person in charge. Kakari in kato omoi. So he's saying, like, surely this is the person who is going to try to throw me out. Nirami tsukeru, to glare at. To glare at, to scowl at. That's a new one. I should double check to make sure that I didn't. That's the other thing. I think I need to scoot this over a little bit. When I'm covering over these words, this little green arrow, it's down here, so I don't need to learn teki enemy plane, but this allows me to create a flashcard very quickly, and so sometimes I just get so caught up in reading that I forget, like, oh, I should, I has this word. Tsumami dasu. I should add that and keep that as a flashcard so that I remember to throw out, to pull out, to drag out. I'm sure that will come up more. So he's sure that's who it is, and so he's glaring. Mitsukeru. So to scowl at, to glare at, what is it? Ikioi. With force. So he's glaring with force. Huri kaeru. So he looks back around him. So he thinks it's somebody to kick him out, so he just looks behind him with a really angry, vicious scowl. And I'm just gonna call it now. It's gonna be Mayuri, and it's gonna scare the bejesus out of her. So he's starting to say hanase. So I think he's starting to say, like, let me go. Hanase. And then he is interrupted. Mm-hmm. Huh? Oh, it's not Mayuri. I already know. I've seen this character before. They're in she's in the series I watched, but she has my name, Kurisu. Ore to Uh, oh, this would be, what is it? Doi ne? 同い年ぐらいの女だった. It was a girl who was the same age as me, who was around the same age as me. Let's scoot this over again. Covers up a little bit. And what? Exactly at this. 挑みかけてくるかのような. So, to throw down, the challenge attack, to attempt to go after. So, to challenge. 挑みかかってくる. So, kakaru. So, this is going to probably be like to attempt to kuru. So, she's grabbed his hand in an attempt to like to come under, to start to deal with, to deal with this problem. She's like attempting. It seems like she's attempting to deal with this problem, to tackle, to attempt. No yona kitsui manaza. It's a new one. Kitsui manaza. So, I think he's describing the way that he looked at her, maybe? Not 100%. Manzashi. Oh, hey, Kuma-san. Manzashi. Where was Manzashi? Did I miss that? Here we go. Manzashi. Manazashi. A look, a gaze. Yeah, so I'm not 100% certain on if this is describing how he looked back to glare at her, or how she's looking at him, but I feel like she's looking at him with the gaze that is the attempt to tackle this problem, deal with this problem. This was like what, ko ma shoumen, right in front of ma shoumen kara. So from directly opposite, from right in front of him, kara. Mono oji, another new one. Mono oji, a lot of new words today. Mono oji, cowardice, bashfulness. Mono oji sezu ni. So without any cowardice. So right across, without any cowardice. Mukete kuru sono sono shisen ni. Sono shisen ni ore wa tajirogu, to shrink back. So she basically looked at him. Oh, perfect. Yes. So she looked at him basically without cowardice. This look right in front of him, and it kind of what does he say? It makes him shrink back. He's like, she's so intense. She's so serious. So without any, like, right in front of him, without any cowardice, without any timidity, she's not bashful at all. Her gaze going right through him, and that made him shrink back a bit. He's a little intimidated. Kono kao ni wa mi oboi? Yes, it's very difficult. Mi oboi ga atta mae ni doko ka de. So kono kao. So this, as for this face, kono kao wa mi oboi. So he has some remember. He remembers it somewhat. Mae ni, like from somewhere, but where? Like he remembers her from before, but where? I'm just going to let you know. Ask any questions as they come up. Happy to answer, obviously. Part of this is for not just me, but for anybody. Oh. That was an easy one. Makise kurisu da. Makise kurisu da. Kurisu. So, kurisu da. Makise kurisu da. Deep red. Yeah, I always try to look to see what their name might mean in kanji, but yeah, it's not letting me understand what that is. Oh well. I always thought my name is Chris as well, and I thought that if I were to choose kanji for kurisu, I would I would use risu for squirrel. So like my name could be 9 squirrels, kurisu. I think that would be fun. I sometimes feel like 9 squirrels. 会ったことはないが顔を知っている. So he has not met her, but he remembers, he knows her face. So he's not met her, but he knows her face. Yeah, this is 終日, a few days ago. 俺の友人. Oh wait, Yujin. I always want to say tomodachi, but it's Yujin. I always get thrown off. They're very similar, but I always want to say tomodachi. 俺の友人である。daru? Ichi daru. Hajita itaru. Hajita itaru. が雑誌を見せてくれた. So he saw her basically, his friend, Daru. Daru wa nan desu ka? So he saw her in a magazine that his friend let him see. But that's got to be a name. So his friend must be Hajida Itaru. But Itaru, Daru, maybe he's taking Itaru. Maybe Daru is his nickname. Daru, because his name is Itaru. I'm sure we'll see something if it is the case. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one. その中の雑誌に天才少女が So 天才少女が 天才 so genius 少女 the genius girl of Akihabara で講演 lecture or address という内容があった So the contents of the article, so it was Kiji, I said Zashi. その中の記事に the genius, so inside that article, the genius girl of Akihabara, so giving a lecture in Akihabara. The genius girl is giving a lecture in Akihabara. という用内があった. That's where he remembers her from. なんでも these are the ones that always throw me off a little bit. なんでも so なんかなんとかなんでも they just show up a lot, and I always treat them the same, and I know there's little differences, so なんでも like anything, whatever, なんでも今年の春にわずか17歳でアメリカの大学を飛び級で卒業し、Well, okay, yeah, whatever is correct. なんでも So, whatever. 今年の春にわずか a little, so she's like a little like a 17歳でアメリカの大学を So she skipped a grade, 飛び級で卒業し She skipped a grade and graduated at 17. This would be Kenkyu, her research thesis. 研究論文がアメリカの What is this going to be? 学術雑誌 a scientific journal. Science. That's a good one. Science に載ったとか So she was placed on に載って So she appeared in the science magazine. Yep, that's just more background on who she is. He's even kind of showing a quick memory of the actual article, and it's in English because she's American. Kijide. Oh, this is her name again. I forget it now. This was like Mase. This is Kurisu. Mase? I don't remember her name. Kurisu. Kurisu と紹介されていた天才少女. So she was introduced as the genius girl. Making the memory data is possible. So this is probably the end of the word memory. Memory accumulated in the temporal lobe, which is a part of the brain in the front. Well, the frontal lobe. Temporal is around the sides. Temporal lobe, I think. So, 17-year-old girl, Kurisu Makise, announced surprise, which is always kind of interesting. She's an American, but I don't know if she's supposed to be Japanese or they just gave her a Japanese name, but Kurisu Makise announced surprising thesis in the Far Eastern island nation. This thesis, even if it is impossible, each man's making to data is possible. It is making each man's memory data. This was probably written in Japanese and translated poorly into English. This English doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Well, it makes sense what they're trying to say, but the grammar is really bad. So, and this it even has it's misspelled. This should be and. So we're gonna skip past that. I thought it would be a fun little practice, but no. So what is this? 掲載 publication 掲載されていた写真に撮っていたのが so there was a 映っていた so 写真に映っていると so the publication された like, for the publication there was a photograph taken 今日の前にいるこの生意気そうなそんな女だった so this he saw that picture was in the publication and now this they say cheeky, impertinent, impudent, audacious basically this saucy, I like that one, this girl is right in front of him. Garbage truck is out front, so it might get loud for a second. The その写真でも今のと同じように this one I forget this is 不機嫌はい朝です朝今9時41分午前です And then United States, yeah. I mean, おはようございます。おはようで。おはようである。おはようでいる。They, I always have on my phone, I have different places. So Tokyo, it's 10 p.m. in Eastern time, yeah, Eastern. So it's almost 11 p.m. in Tokyo. It's raining in Tokyo. I always like checking Tokyo and Cincinnati specifically, which is a city in Ohio, have very similar weather. Onajirashi. So usually whatever the temperature is here, it's the same temperature in Tokyo. My teacher is in Tokyo, so we'll always talk through it. It's just it'll be like, oh, it's cold today, and I'm like, yeah, it's cold here. Very, very similar temperature for some reason. But it's nice. It makes me realize that if it's comfortable and nice here, the Indy 500 is famous. If you like car racing, I went once on vacation. I saw the racetrack in Daytona. So Indianapolis, Indy 500 is very close to me. I went down to Florida, which is farther away, and I saw the track, and I saw some cars going around the Daytona 500, which is really wild to see. It was very loud, but I I don't follow racing. I think there's a lot more. They have different names for it. So I know Japan has, I think, what we'll call Grand Prix or um, F1, and there's a lot of the the long distance driving. They do that in Europe a lot. They'll have the larger races that are going through a lot of cities and small roads. We don't really have that. We pretty much always have the races on tracks. I know. The that's the one thing people complain about with Tokyo, and I'd love to live in Tokyo one day. They talk about, in the summer it's so humid, it's so hot, and I'm already used to that. I know it's a little bit worse, but already very used to the humidity in the summer. So I think we would probably be we'd be okay moving out to Tokyo one day. One day. Um, Fukigen sa. I don't. Do you like racing? I don't. Indy 500 is one of the not the first thing that I would expect somebody to know from Japan. That would be like being a fan. I mean, it's rare for people to be like fans of sumo in America. Um, they're aware of it. We know what it is, but nobody knows any of the names of the rikishi or who the yokozuna is. But they know some of those terms. So in the same way, it's just kind of like, oh, Indy 500. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, my hobby is manga, video game, anime. And I like puroresu. Puroresu mo. Shin Nihon. Tsuki. That. Okay. その写真でも, so it was, even though it was that photo. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I like all kinds of nerdy things. I think it's fun to. A lot of people grow up, and I'm sure it's the same in Japan. People grow up and they quit. They don't play video games anymore. Or they move past it, and they are adults, and they want to be serious. But I don't know. I still think I still enjoy playing video games. I still enjoy reading comics and manga, and I still enjoy watching anime and all that. So I just think it's weird that people probably enjoy it, but they decide they're not going to, pursue those hobbies or care about those hobbies at a certain point, and I'll just never understand that. 不機嫌さ. Yeah. It's easy. I like, and I haven't done that. So like playing this because I like anime, so this is a nice way to like learn Japanese through something that I find interesting. I was reading news articles, and those are interesting and helpful to a point. But the same thing where like there's magazines and comics, and reading that is a really helpful way to kind of learn the vocabulary that you want to learn. Because with Japanese, it's like, well, why are you learning Japanese? Oh, I want to play video games. I want to read manga. Well, why should I spend all my time reading news articles when I want to read manga? I should just read manga, and then I'll learn as I go. Same with video games. There's a lot of video games that they don't release. They don't translate. A lot of manga as well. It just comes out. They don't translate it, and so you either have to rely on somebody else to translate it, or you just have to learn how to read it yourself. So that's what I've been trying to do. And it's good. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure most people learn English because they want to use it or pursue hobbies. But are you trying to learn English because you want to move to America someday?不機嫌さ丸出しの顔だったのか、犬 Zol. Oh, wow. See, this is the stuff that I like. You went to law school. So that's like, I'm a professional too. I work in digital marketing. And it's always great when there are people who are like professionals that are still, um, otaku. Law school. So does that translate? Did you do international law, and do you work in law in Japan now? It's too late for me, but I thought about, oh, good. That's a hard one, I think. The New York bar is hard. So you would be able to, in theory, come back and practice in New York. Are you allowed to pass, well, obviously you're working in Japan, so I don't know if you go through, is the test the same? How do they have a bar exam as well, a similar type of exam in Japan to work, bengoshi. 2 days ago I was trying to think of bengoshi. I forgot the term, but I just remembered it. Bengoshi. Ah, make a lasting impression. Sona tensai. That's good. If it's like everything else, I think a lot of people want to go to America because the pay is usually better. I know Japan, you might make less as a lawyer than if you were working in America. And that's a field where it would be easy to work at a company that has an office in both countries, and you'd be able to maybe travel back and forth, or work back and forth. But to your point, if you're not as confident with your English, it'd be good to keep practicing and get to that point. But that's a great way. I've been looking at jobs, and I've been trying to think of places that have offices in both America and Japan, so that I could try to work more with the Japanese offices. But it's tough. It's okay. I'm enjoying the conversation. Anyway. その天才が so this genius なぜ俺に声をかけてきた so like it's that genius. Why is she, you know, 声をかけて why is she calling out to me 声をかけてきた why did she come to like talk to me? That's interesting. The studying Japanese is always interesting to me because the amount of times we'll run into a situation where I think if I were going to say the sentence, if I were going to say, why is she talking to me, like that person? So I might get to the point where I say sonna tensei ga, like that genius, that genius from that article, the genius from that article. Naze ore ni, I wouldn't know that but I'd probably say watashi because I'm so formal with my learning. I'd probably say watashi. Watashi ni. I don't know that I would ever find or come up with the koe o kakeru to start talking to. I would probably just say hanashimasu, hanashite kita. But even then, I don't know that I would immediately go to tekuru. So that's the why I think this is so important to work through this, is to see the different ways people say. I know what it means, but would I have written the sentence this way? And probably not. Well, definitely not. I would not have said koe o kakete kita, because I did not know koe o kakeru as a whole word. So very interesting to me. But yeah, why is she talking to me?
ちょっと来てくれませんか?
ちょっと来てくれませんか? ちょっと来てくれませんか? 来てくれませんか? ちょっと来 Kite kuremasen. So she's basically saying, like, why don't you, like, come over here? Yeah, that stuff gets confusing, but I think sometimes that is just also characters. Like, the person writing it maybe decided this character would say, why is this person talking to me in a more elaborate way than a regular non, because he's a scientist. Maybe a non-scientist would talk a different way. The same thing happens if there's a TV show called The Big Bang Theory, a very popular sitcom, and a lot of the characters in that show are scientists, and the way they talk is very different from the way that a normal everyday person would talk, and that's part of the humor of the show. The way that they are phrasing things, the way they're talking about things, are using slightly different vocabulary, more college words. People say college words, daigaku no kotoba. I don't know if the same thing is true, but if someone's trying to sound smart, you might say, like, oh, you're using those college words. Not as a super mean thing, but yeah, that might be something that's going on, is that they just want him to, the character Kyoma Rintaro, maybe it's just using more elaborate ways of speaking to kind of push him aside, apart from having a more everyday character. A stern expression. This is a new one too. Kewashi hyojo. Hyojo I have learned, but kewashi hyojo, a stern expression. No mama, so keeping the same stern impression. The stern impression is like staying. Mama. Shui mama shui ni subayai, quick. I've learned that, but I don't remember. Subayai what? Subayai shizen o hashirase shogoe kogoe de mimi uchi shite kita. So, like, keeping the same, like, graze and, like, quickly kind of I think that's basically quickly glancing what would this best be? Quite, like, maybe quickly glancing around. Hashirase. She's basically whispered, quick whispering voice. Nanda kono taido? Kono taido wa, what is this attitude? And then again, this is what was that Mikase? Mikase Kurisu? Mikase Kurisu ga Kaijo no kakarin da to omoenai. So it doesn't seem, I don't think that this is she's a person in charge. Like, he's makise kurisu ga so he's kind of like, why is she have this attitude? Why is she coming over to me? Like, I don't think she doesn't work here. She's not in charge. So why is she acting this way? Why does she have this attitude? Ka toyute dokuta nakabachi no what is this? Kenkeisha de aru hazu mo nai. So she's also I don't think she's related to the doctor. Like, so she's not here working with him. Kankesha de aru kankesha. So she's not a person concerned. She's not, like, in his group, basically. He also doesn't think that. So I don't think she's in charge of the building. I don't think she's with this person. So again, what is this attitude? Yeah, kankesha is this person concerned or involved in an event, and so it's the nakabachi no kankesha. So I don't think she's not working with with him. So not related like a family. 家族じゃない、友達じゃない、でも仕事の仲間みたい。イベントの店員みたい、多分思います。と思います。となると、まさか、そう、となると、it says I have not added this. If that's the case, masaka, by no means, masaka.
貴様機関の人間か。
Kisama. Oh, that's like you. Kikan no ningen ka. So are you the person from the organization? Like, are you an organization person? So the organization is, again, what we've been, the authority. There's the people who are working on time travel. He's one of them, and he doesn't like this Dr. Nakabachi. But this organization that's kind of like looming over all, a little bit controlling, and now he's curious and worried that she's part of the organization. Huh? Now it seems like she has no idea what that even means.
まさかここまで手が回っているとは。俺としたことか。
まさかここまで手が回っている to attend to everything. Masaka, certainly, indeed. Masaka kokomade, so until now, kokomade, until here. Te ga matte to wa ore to shita koto ga ore to shita koto ga me of all people. So yes, so it's saying like Masaka, of course, up to here, like te ga they're to be on someone's track, so they've been tracking like following me, tracking me, like me of all people. Like, so again, he's convinced she's part of the Kikan, the organization. Kikan.
ふざけてないでちょっと来てください。
ふざけてないで。So basically, stop joking around. Like, stop joking around. Please come over here. Like, please come with me. Koko wa ne dame damatte. Koko wa damatte. 従うことにした。So from here he basically like I was silent. I stopped talking. He's really been taken by surprise. 今の俺はドクター中鉢に喧嘩を打ったことで明らかの注目を浴びる to attract attention ている。今の俺はどこと中鉢に喧嘩を打ったこと。That's I was not piecing that together as one word. Why a dictionary like this is so important. Because it let me know that was one whole word. I knew kenka, I know, was like a quarrel or a fight, and udu is to sell, and I was assuming that meant something along the lines of like picking a fight, but it is an expression specifically to pick a fight, to try to start a fight with somebody, but I wouldn't have put that together exactly in that way. So kenka o utta koto de, so now, he'd been picking a fight with him, and akiraka ni, so it was, and now like it's been attracting attention. This is a long one. 注目を浴び 浴びてしまっている。しまってしまう. So this is again an unfortunate thing. It's a regrettable thing. So he had gone to like pick a fight. He had picked a fight with the doctor, and it's just kind of it's attracted too much attention. Unfortunately, has attracted all this attention. というか仲町が俺を凄じ Pick a fight is it's more of start a fight. Kenka o we call it picking a fight. Yeah, it's starting a fight. But you'll see it a lot. Pick a fight. Don't pick a fight. Are you trying to pick a fight with me? It's a very strange use of the word pick. Because pick can mean like harvesting fruit. So kudamono o ki kara kudamono o pick. So you could pick a fruit. You could pick a flower. Hana o pick. And in the same way, you could pick a fight. But you can also pick a person. So if you're building a team, you're in class and you want to pick a teammate, you would pick a friend. You pick an option. Pick wa erabu mitai imi. Erabu no chotto naji. But yeah, pick a fight. Arigatou gozaimasu. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things like that. English is ちょっと難しい。というか。Or perhaps I should say 仲町がおるを凄じい。Tremendous, great. 凄じい行為で睨みつけてきているわけだが So he's saying, I went to pick a fight. I was picking a fight, and it's just like I'm causing this huge, like all this attention is drawn to me. And he's just like, well, I mean, rather it's not all this attention, but this doctor Nakabachi is really just glaring at me. Like it's more that he's just glaring at me. Ore no yona, so it's like me. Wakazoni chi. Wow, this is a new one. To hit the nail on the head. We'll add that as a flashcard. Zuboshi o sasu. Sasu. To guess exactly right. Zuboshi was like a star map, I guess. Yeah, Zuboshi o sasu. This expression is it's like to guess exactly right, like Zuboshi, the bullseye, the mark. Okay, Zuboshi. Sasu is to stick. So like he nailed. He got it. He. I'm a youngster. Ore no yona. Ore no yona. Ore no yona. 若造の地帽子を指す正しいと思います。指すではなくつく。ほんと。I pinned your comment. I found it important. I didn't intend to, but there it is. 指すではなくつく。俺のような to say tsuku. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is older. So maybe the phrase has changed over time. So this game was from 2009, and maybe that's something that changed. That's interesting. Tsuku. Daro is another one that I always desho daro. So in the same way that like nantonaku, nandemo, those will I'll stumble over them. Sentences using daro and desho, having a lot of meetings, will also kind of throw me off. Yeah, they always, because if you look them up, so daro, so it's like, it seems this, so like, oh, it seems like it's, this is the case, daro, I think, I guess, I wonder, I hope. But it can also be kind of like a really, don't you agree? So it can be a really, it's a little bit like ne, daro ne. It's like really, that's like adding a lot of daro yo ne. And then I thought you'd say that, that could be like, oh, sasuga kurisu. 難しい。So it's a lot of just like seeing that and getting into 日本語って and the little 小さい手も難しいわ。手は時々はと blah blah blah, and then even to, but that can also be, it's like a little shorthand, and it means a lot, but it's hard to teach what that means in English. But that's the fun part of Japanese to me, is that encountering this and trying to understand, and then the next sentence where I see it, it will be a little bit less, it might make more sense, it might make a little less sense, and it's a little tough. Sazo, certainly, Sazo, kuyashi no daro. Yeah, so he's saying like, he called me, what was this, wakazo. I didn't add this last time. Atarashi kotoba. Wakazo ni. So when he said that was right. Tonikaku. Anyway, anyhow. Tonikaku. Kore ijo. 注目されるわけにはいかない. So, moreover, what is this one? Attention. So, don't need any more attention drawn to me. He's kind of, maybe feels like he's done his part. He went there with the intention to start this fight, and he did it. He said what he wanted to say, and now he doesn't want all the extra attention now. Ore wa 狂気の mad scientist は yeah, he's a mad scientist. 期間から追われている者なのだ. So he is like the kind of person that he's a mad scientist, the kind of person that the authority is chases after, pursues. 追われている. So he thinks highly of himself in that regard. このままだ as it is このままだと、危険な事態になりそうな as up to now as it is, that seems to be this type of dangerous situation. It seems to have become なりそうな this type of situation. 予感がする. So this is his premonition. He had a hunch coming into this, so I think he's really kind of getting at like, that seems to be, I'm the mad scientist, the authority is after me, and that seems to be the kind of dangerous situation that I had a premonition about. Mayuri ya, so mayuri and 周囲の聴取を. So mayuri and the surrounding audience, 聴取をそんな事態を巻き込むわけにいけなかった. So he's saying like it wasn't his intention basically. わけにはいかない。いかなかった. So I want to just go through and find this one again. This was the わけではない doesn't mean わけではいけない Can't afford to. There we go. Can't afford to. Wake ni wa ikanai. So he's saying he can't afford to. He can't afford for Mayuri and the audience to get caught up in this type, to get wrapped up in this kind of situation. I like this sentence a lot. そんな事態に巻き込む to get wrapped up in 巻き込むわけにはいかなかった. So I couldn't afford for them to get wrapped up in this situation. Yeah. 方が時代に気がします。で、マキセクリスはおとなしくなった。So おとなし is meek, obedient. おとなしくなった. So she became a little quiet. 俺の手を引いて she pulled his hand. 会場の外に来た。出た. So she became a little bit more quiet and meek, and she pulled his hand, and they left the assembly hall.
ここで俺に何かすれば人目につくぞ。そうなれば貴様もいろいろまずいだろう。
Let's see. Also, if I'm correct, Kisama, also something that you wouldn't say. A lot of games in anime will have things like Anata, Omae, Kisama, and they're all by and large things that you wouldn't want to say to people in Japan. But people play and learn these games and think like, oh, I'll go up to some stranger and say, Kisama. No. Dame. Dame do. Yabai. ここで俺に何かすればいいと。すれば人目につく to be within others, to be visible, be conspicuous. ぞ手つくぞ so without being conspicuous. So ここで俺に何かすれば so he's saying like, oh yeah, so here, you know, you can do anything you want without people seeing, you know, you won't attract any attention. そうなれば貴様もいろいろまずいだろう. So again, he's just saying like, yeah, that's you know, you're all kinds of bad. You're probably gonna do all kinds of bad things to me.
何かって何ですか？人聞きの悪い。
何かって何ですか? Like, what kind of things are you talking about? What are you saying? What are you talking about? 人聞きの悪い. Sounds scandalous, sounds disgraceful. 人聞きの悪い. You have a bad reputation. 睨まれた to have kept an eye on. A lot of new vocabulary. なかなかの迫力. なかなかの very, very considerable intensity. 睨め so she's scowling at him, the very intense. 端正な顔立ちをしているのに so even though she's a very shapely, clean-cut face, 可愛げのかけらもない so there's no trace of cuteness, no trace of charm, no かけら trace もない so she's got a very you know, clean cut face. しているのに so even though she's got a very clean cut face, very straightforward, wasn't a cuteness about it. It's very stern. 冷酷 that's a new 冷酷無比の美少女エージェントか so cold-hearted, unparalleled, cold-hearted, beautiful agent. So it's like a spy, like a James Bond movie almost. 波乱 disturbance. 波乱の予感だが、波乱 so disturbance, the ups and downs, the trouble, this premonition だが、なぜか somehow 心が浮き立っている自分がいた so 心が and life exhilarated. So for some reason, so like even though it's got a bad premonition about this, for some reason it was like exciting. 自分がいた やはり俺は so as before likewise やはり俺は 何 混沌 confusion 混沌に身を置く to put oneself in 身を置くことが好きらしい evil laughter. I like that. So he's saying it's very like him. He likes things like this. It's very much like him to put himself in like chaotic situations. He puts himself into these situations. Like he seems to like putting himself in these kind of situations. Yahari, as expected. So kind of like this would be the same thing as sasuga. Yahari orewa. I like that one as a laugh. He's a mad scientist right now. 私はあなたに聞きたいことがあるだけです. I just have something I want to ask you. That's all. That's all.
それに答える義理はない。機関のやり方は分かっている。
So again, he's just very over the top. 久々のシンプルセンテンス。久々は覚えませんでした。久々。in a long time. simple. はい。わかります。わかった。でも、それに答える義理はない。I'm not obliged. I don't have to answer your questions. 機関のやり方は分かっている。So, I don't have to answer your questions. I understand the agency. I understand how you work. I understand how the agency works.
だから機関って
だから again, like what you keep saying. What is this? その問いは無視してすかさず without a moment's delay. 新しい言葉。So ignoring that, さすかず携帯を取り出し、耳に、this was the put again, add to, 添えた。So again, he ignored that question and took his phone out, put it up to his ear.
俺だ。機関のエージェントに捕まった。マキセ・クリスだ。あの女には気をつけろ。いや、問題ない。ここはなんとか切り抜け。
He's really losing his mind potentially. 俺だ, it's me. 機関のエージェントに、捕まった。I was caught by an agent of the authority. キサミカセクリスだ。あの女には気をつける。Be careful. いや、問題ない。It's not a problem. No, it's not a problem. ここはなんとか something 切り抜け. So they're trying to get information from me. And she's just fed up. いきなり abruptly, all of a sudden, クリスは俺の携帯を取り上げてしまった. She took his phone. Oh goodness. Yeah. Some bots showed up. Thank you. I don't need stream boo. I don't need any of that. Just hang out. Learn some Japanese. Stick around. No bots, please. なんという。いきなり。Took his phone. なんという。早わず。Quick work, clever feat. なんという。What a beautifully quick work. あんまりに so too much to あんまりにきれいな I already know that one. I don't know why I added きれいな機種 Yeah, sometimes there's 3. Wow. They just keep showing up. Sometimes they show up, they just advertise websites to go and give you viewers, but you can't do anything about them. And you can go and you can like block them or delete them, but sometimes they're bots, sometimes they're not. They're usually bots. People aren't really spending their time going through and doing that. But yeah, they're just trying to get you to go to a website to steal money from you. And then you get banned if you do that, so I don't want to do that. So just gotta be careful. 奇襲攻撃 yeah, potentially. That'd be great. I think you're able to send me messages on the platform. We can talk through something, and yeah, if you've got questions in English, then we can talk through and see. だったためあんまりに綺麗な beautiful surprise attack だったため so for the sake of that beautiful yeah, do that. Sounds perfect. 俺は抵抗することすらできなかった。俺は抵抗することすら even すらできなかった。Unable to, wasn't able to. So the ability to even just resist, he wasn't able to. So it was such a beautiful quick maneuver. He wasn't even able to resist the surprise attack. 何をする? Like what are you doing?
あれこの携帯電源切れてる。
この携帯電源切れてる。There's no power. There's no electricity. Basically this phone's not operational.
誰と話していたんですか?
Who were you talking to? And ndesu is another one that's really hard for Japanese learners. No desu, ndesu, it's a grammar that is offering explanation or asking explanation. Like, who is it that you're talking to? Like, I'm expecting you to give me the information. I want an answer to who you're talking to. And you can also use this to like, I'm talking to somebody else. That's if you're trying to offer an explanation. Oh, I was late. Ame furimashita desu. So like, my explanation is that there was raining. That's why I'm late, or my shirt is wet, or I forgot my umbrella. So desu would be to offer some type of like explanation, and it works both ways. Asking a question like, I want an explanation. Desu ka? But the thing that's confusing, there's a lot of parts of Japanese that are phrases that are done one way when you're writing and another way when you're talking. So, ndesu for speaking, I believe, and then if you were writing this same thing out, you might write no desu. And so there's the more common versions that you'd see in writing versus that you'd see or hear when you're talking. 雨が降ったんですか? That's my thought was that. That was my thought. Yeah, like, osoki mashita. Or 雨が降りました。あれが降りましたから明日から since it was raining. Osoki to be late. Osokin desu ka? Okure desu. Okurerimasu. Okureri desu. Yeah, I'm not really. Okureri no desu. Okureri desu. ちょっとわかります. Yeah. And it's like if you're trying to give an explanation, you would use ndesu to give a little bit of a reason. But yeah, it's a little bit of a tough one. But in this particular instance of what Kurisu is saying, it's understandable. Ndesu, explanatory. Emphasis, the fact is no desu. Verb desu. Warui no desu. Oishin desu. Suitan no desu ka? Suitan no desu ka? Aru. それ難しいわ。遅れるのです。俺遅れるのです。Yeah. Who are you talking to? Saguru yona. So like I'm searching, groping for 自然を向けられ俺の慌てて目をそらす. So as though she were searching to feel around, her eyesight is glazed. Mukerara, she's staring at him, and he's become confused and flustered. Back to your work. Have to do overwork today. Send a message. Hey, yeah, no, thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna be going through a little bit more. I usually every day around 9:30. So yeah, send a message. We'll talk through. Thanks for stopping by. おやすみなさい。頑張って。目をそらす. So he's diverted his eyes. So she's looking for an answer, and he's in a confusion. Diverted his eye. こいつ. This person. こいつできる. Can she do it? 俺のアイデンティティを Koran sase, koran sase. Seishin, seishin. Hokai o. Sasoki ka. Sasoki ka. That's a tough one. So, koitsu dekiru. So, is she able to do this? Ore no identity o, like my identity, and do what to my identity? Like konran sase, to confuse his identity. Seishin, his soul, his spirit. Hokai o, so crumbling down. Hokai o. Sasoki ka. This is a very interesting one because it's ending. That's just thing on a noun, so it's not. Usually, the sentence would end on a verb, but he's kind of saying sasoki. So the attempt to entice, to lure, to call, to take along. So he's basically like, can she do this? Can she like tear apart my whole identity, my spirit? Can she confuse and throw it all into chaos? Tate naose, to put back up, to stand back up. Tate naose. So he's got to like gather himself, like she's thrown him for a loop, and he's just like got to put himself back together. Ore wa kono tedo de. So as for me, this degree, this level, this amount de yuragi shinaizo. So he won't be this, to this degree, he won't be flustered. He won't let her affect him. He won't be.
貴様に答える義理はないが一応教えてやろう。それは俺以外が触ると自動的に電源がオフになる特別製の携帯なのだ。うわ。
Crazy bird. He talks so fast. So obviously, if I didn't have subtitles, I would be completely lost. That is such a fast pace of speech. Ki. And that's one too. I think this might just be like, again, part of his character, but there are a lot of characters in Japanese anime and manga, and they will have very specific language affectations that they use. And so the most common one that most people are aware of is Naruto. He'll say something and then he'll always end it with date bayo, date bayo, date bayo. Not necessarily a very specific, or there'll be characters that will add like nya, which is like basically the Japanese version of meow. They'll add that into the end of sentences. They'll attach it to other words to make it more cutesy. So there are little affectations and things that some people do use in real life just to kind of like show some level of their personality or individualism through the way they say things. It happens in America as well, in English speaking, like dialect, the way that you might say stuff to sound cutesy. You know, we have like a baby voice that people use, or the way that you would talk to a dog or a cat that's your pet, that like just kind of like the, oh, whoa, it's little Mr. Handsome. How do you convey that? When you're speaking, you can convey that very easily, but when you're writing, it's just this kind of like, written word way to explain how that is. It tells you a lot about the type of character who would be saying that, who would be using that affectation. That said, adding ki, I'm assuming is potentially a character affectation. It's something that's along the lines with this kind of mad scientist persona that he's going through. And the same with this kind of like over-exaggerated laughter. So the ki, again, it's just going to show up and say like, oh yeah, it's energy. I doubt that's what's going on. So ki wa kisama, again, he's saying you. And they've already translated to it as you bastard. It's not something that you would use. It is derogatory. It is a pronoun that's to refer to the person that you're talking to. Don't use that in real life. It's not a thing that you want to say. It's very offensive and rude. Same with omae, same with anata. You will read a textbook and it will tell you, how do you say you in Japanese? How do I use the word you? And they will say anata. And that is incredibly impersonal. It's rude. It's not as rude as if you were to say omae, which just means in front of me, like this person in front of me, omae wa. They say it a lot in anime. Same with anata, same with kisama. Not things you want to carry over. You don't want to go to Japan and then walk up to the counter at some restaurant or whatever and say kisama. It's just hyper rude. They're gonna look at you sideways. Don't do it. Kisama ni kotaeru, like to answer you. Giri wa nai ga. So I don't have to answer you. I don't have any responsibility to provide answers to you. Ichio oshiete yaro. Oshiete yaro. Like, as far as it goes, oshiete yaro. Like, so that's as much as I'll tell you. All I'm gonna tell you is that I don't have to tell you anything. And this key, now I realize he's stuttering. Kisama. Kisama. So he's a stutter. This isn't a character affectation. I was off on that. He's stuttering. So there might be, I don't know if there's a way or not. There used to be a way you can actually like replay audio lines, but I'm not too stressed or pressed about that. So this is a stutter. Kisama. So he's trying to regain his confidence, but he's still a little bit flustered, as you can tell by him stuttering. Sore wa ore. So like that is me. Ore wa igai. Without exception. Sawaru to. Jidoteki ni dengen ga ofu ni naru. So he says, like, if anybody other than me touches this phone, it turns off. There's no power. Tokubetsu sei no keitai na no da. So he's like, I'll just tell you one thing. This phone, it only turns on when I'm using it. If anybody else uses it, it turns off. It only has power when I'm touching this phone. He's a psycho. そんな特別性を持っているのもすべてI don't know that. そんな that kind of 特別性を持っているのもすべて機密保持のため. So this is no longer, he's not saying this, but it's just saying like this kind of specially made like thing. Also, it's just like, it's just the whole, it's completely secret, classified, to preserve the secret, it's to maintain secrecy, to maintain privacy. But he didn't say that. He's thinking that. ひたくるように携帯を取り戻すと、so 引きたく so he as though to like snatch it back 引きたくるように携帯を取り戻すと so after taking it back, so he snatches the phone back. 俺は確認俺は一人 to his fat 俺の一人ににじむ again にじむ冷や汗をそって拭った. So once again, this has been a constant theme with him. He's just got this nervous cold sweat that he's doing. So he takes the phone back, and after he takes the phone back, so when he takes the phone back, he wipes the sweat from his brow. They didn't say this time the back of his hand, but in all the other instances they've been saying he's like doing with the back of his hand. So my assumption is going to keep that same nervous habit going and use the back of his hand. Whew. 焦ったぜ。焦ったへ。 To be anxious, to panic, flustered. Atsetaze. Yeah, I mean it's gonna say like heh. I could tell you. That I don't know. That's an interesting one. So I mean it's just definitely flustered. He's definitely flustered, but I'm a little bit lost on that one exactly. But again, not important. We can move on.
独り言だったのね。
So 独り言だったのね。そう独り言 let go 独り言 talking to yourself だったのでだったのね so like she's like were you just talking to yourself like he got caught again Mazui this is bad Mikase クリスは天才少女と呼ばれるだけあってwell 一筋縄ではいかない not straightforward not dealt with by ordinary means so basically like she is this genius girl like just called me out she can't be what he can get away with other people as far as tricking them with this little character this bit that he does that's not going to work on her she's too smart それどころか on the contrary 俺に what is this 精神的 mental what 揺さぶりをかける to throw off balance 来ている so on the other hand so like she's very straightforward like she can't be she's calling me out like on the other hand me as for him like his mental like his mentality his like his mind it is thrown off it's come to be thrown off to be unsettled so she's got his number ここはひとまず wow so many new words 戦力的撤退戦略的撤退 strategic withdrawal so he's gonna do 押した方が良さそうだ so he's saying like it would probably be best 方がいい is like he had better した方が良さそうだ so it's changed to like a soda which is like it seems it would be best if I did a strategic withdrawal from this situation ここはひとまず for now it seems that for now I should strategically withdraw なんとか what again new long words that are really specific 月をつかなければ so なければ he must do something like provide a surprise attack he must do something like take advantage of her carelessness so he's like going on the reverse he's going on the attack he's got to find a way to take her by surprise と表情を引き締めた soクリスが so she tightens so with that and she tightens her facial expression いきなり all of a sudden 俺に詰め寄ってきた so she tightens her facial expression and suddenly she moves closer to him we saw that with the animation there the picture moved up closer and what now 至近距離 so point blank range 至近距離から so from point blank range そのラン that's a new one そのランとたぎり大きな一目でまっすぐに見据えてくる So, from point blank range, sono, that what, that glaring, to, tagiri, so like boiling, seething, oki na hitome, so like from with her at point blank range, from point blank range, with those glaring large pupils, de masugu ni, straight at, she's staring straight at him. She came to be staring straight at him. She's looking him directly in the eye. Nan to tsuyoi ishi ni michiafureru me. So with the eyes, her eyes full of, overflowing with what? Kagayaki nanda. So her radiant, brilliant eyes. So with strong will, her eyes are just glowing with some type of nando, how surprisingly strong-willed, brimming. Ore wa omowazu mitorete shimatta. So without thinking. So omowazu. So as for me, without thinking, he became fascinated, captivated. He became enchanted. And te shimata, like again, it's just like regretful. Like he wasn't trying to do this, and it just happened. So like he had no control. Without thinking, he just became captivated by her, entranced by her bright, intense eyes. Korehodo. So much no massugu, straight ahead, massugu de junsui, pure, junsui na hitomi no mochinushi ga. So korehodo, so much so that again, straight ahead, the pure pupils that this person had. Honto ni kikan no agent nanoka. So basically, like, could this person truly be a part of an agent of the authority? Like, that's how enchanted and captivated he was.
さっき私に何を言おうとしたんですか?
Saki, again, this is going to be more of the like just now. Saki, watashi ni nani o iyou to shitan desu ka? Like, what did you just say? Like, what were you just saying just now? Saki.
さっきとはいつのことだ?
Saki to wa itsu no koto? Like when? Like when are you talking? She's like, just now what were you saying? And he's saying when? Like
ほんの15分くらい前、会見が始まる前に。
Honno, only about 15 minutes earlier. Kaiken ga hajimaru mae ni. So before the event started, what did you say? Nani o bakka na? What an idiot. How stupid. Ore ga koitsu to atta no wa ima ga hajimeta da zo. Nani o bakka na? So something stupid. Ore ga koitsu shi to atta no wa ima go hajimete da zo. Kind of a tough one. 15分前には前よりとウッパのカプセルトイで盛り上がっていたのだ. So it's just kind of like, what a stupid thing. Like 15 minutes ago, I was talking to Mayuri at the capsule machine.
私に何か言おうとしましたよね。
私に
悲しそうな顔をして。
私に何を言おうとしまっ したよね. Like, what were you trying to say? What were you about to say? What were you trying to say? すごく悲しそうな顔をした. Like, what were you trying to say with such a sad looking face? Like, you were talking to me, your face was so sad looking. What were you trying to say? And he's saying, Wanaka? Is this a trap? Wanaka? いかにも薄汚い. This is a new one. うさぎね高い期間のやりそうなことだが. So he's saying, like, that's really, this is a dirty trick from the authority. Like, this is the kind of thing they would do, though. This seems like the type of thing they would do. しかしこの少女がそんな手を使うだろうか。しかしこの女性が so, however, like this girl そんな手を it's like they'd use her like しかし like they'd use her as that to do this work.
まるで今にも泣き出しそうで、それにすごく辛そうでした。
まるで so as if just like that 今にも at any minute 泣き出しそうで so like it was as though like any minute you would start crying, like tears would start coming. それにすごくit was 嬉しそう. Why does it say 暗いそう? 辛いそう. Oh yeah, 辛いそうでした. Like it just seemed, you seemed incredibly like heartbreaking, difficult. Like it just seemed like it was so sad.
私、前にあなたと会ったことありますか？
どうして by what, I mean, like how, for what reason? どうして私前にあなたと会ったことありますか? Like weren't you the person I met just a second ago, like earlier? ミカセクリスは冗談を言っているように見えない. It's like, again, it's just like, it doesn't seem like she's joking. Like, it doesn't look like she's joking. だからこそ because of that, for this reason, 俺にとってこの女は得体が知れない. It's a strange familiar. Like this girl, like she just seems strange. そうだ, that's right. 顔に騙されるな. 顔に, like she's trying to trick me with her face. こいつは冷酷無比なエージェント. Like she's a cold-hearted, like there's nobody like her. 少しでも, like just a little, 少しでも先を見せれば負ける. So he's just saying like it's small, but he's like there's a small gap. Like I could see a small gap where I could like lose.
そういえば、なんで私の名前知ってるんです？
そういえば so now that you mention it, なんで私の名前は知ってるんです? Like you knew my name.
俺はすべてお見通しなのだ。
俺はすべてを見通しなので. So it's just kind of like I've seen all of this. I have premonition. 何しろ at any rate マードサイエンティストだからな. Like
天才少女。次会うときは敵同士だな。
天才少女. So he's saying like, yeah, genius girl. 近い, the next meaning. 近い時は Katakidoji da na. The next time we meet will be as enemies, mutual enemies. Katakidoji. Katakidoji.
Huh?
Huh? She's very confused. I am
さら
too.
ばだうわ
Sarabada. So he's saying goodbye. Saradaba. Again, another strange way of saying it. I doubt there are people running around Japan saying Saradaba, but here he is saying Saradaba. Ooh, ha, 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 ha. 俺はその場で180度 U ターンすると So with that he turned 180 degrees さそうとした足取り its pace 足取り階段を駆け下りた and with that he turned and ran down the stairs ミカセクリスの呼び止める to call 読み止める声が背後から追ってきたが so from behind him he could hear her voice yelling calling him to stop 敵の言うことをなく to do what your enemy says わけではない can't afford わけにはいかない cannot afford to listen to the things your enemy has to say. That's a good one. That's a good わけにはいかないわけにはいけない can't afford to There's a lot of わけ
期間
vocab
あれほどのエージェントを送り込んでくるとはついに本気になったようだな
What now? Again, he's stuttering. He's saying the one thing. So he's saying ki because the next thing he says is kikan. Kikan me. Are hodo to the extent. Are hodo no agentを送り込んでくるとは like I can't believe they came to the extent of sending an agent. ついに finally at last ついに本気になったようだな So again there's this authority that he's worried about. He's just kind of like wow to think that they finally got to the point they're taking this serious now. It's become serious. They've sent an agent. Let's see here. 一気に4回まで駆け下りる I thought I added this 駆け下りたところで So as he went down 4 stairs in one go 終わりの後ろを振り返る He turned his head to behind he looked behind him and once again ミカセクリスが追いかけてこないという So she was not chasing after him 確信を得たところで So after he was pretty sure that she wasn't following him 俺はこめかみを tied of his head 指で押さえ put his finger to the side of his head しんしんと息をつくしんしんと he took a deep breath
だが俺はまだ奴らに捕まるわけにはいかんのだ
だが俺は待ったやつまだやつら those guys 俺はまだ still as of yet only やつらに捕まるわけにはいかないのだ can't afford to be caught by those guysさてとは何ですかさてと Well さてとこれから from now on これからどうす subeki ka. So from now, like, what should I do? I wonder what I should do. どうしたんですか？でも、これからどうすべきか。あ、当初の目的で、so from the beginning, his goal, the goal from the beginning, であったドクター中鉢の the doctors 会見内容については、会見 so interview, getting his audience 内容 to become a part of his audience, to be a member of the audience basically については、単なるパクリだと分かった。だから俺があの会場へ戻る意味はもうない。意味はもうない。だから、そう、単するパクリだと分かった。 So he understood the simple pakuri, plagiarism, simple plagiarism だと分かった。だから俺の会場へ戻る意味はもうない is already wasn't any meaning. Already もうない。So I can't tell if this is saying that the goal from the start was to go be a part of the audience, and to simply say that this was plagiarism, understood that this was simple plagiarism, and because of that, since that happened, 俺があの会社へ戻る意味. So the meaning of okay. So basically saying going back to the meeting. So he already accomplished his original goal. So going back to the meeting, there's no meaning for him to go back to the conference. So he can leave. There's no problem leaving because his original goal was to go there, tell the doctor he's a plagiarist, and because he's already done that, there's no meaning behind going back to the meeting. So he's going to miss the rest of it. But we haven't really got into the fact that the machine more materialized on the roof. And where's Mayuri? And why does Kurisu think that we talked to her already? Sasato kairo. So promptly going home. With a promptness, with a quickness, returning home. それがもっとも妥当な選択だ。それが that returning home, that is the most valid 妥当な選択だ. It's the most valid choice. Most makes sense. そこでふっと all of a sudden そこでふっと重大な何か so something important を忘れていることが気づいた. And just then I feel like I'm forgetting something pretty important. Probably Mayuri. はって oh my gosh はって何だっただろうと考えてみる. So to try to think 何だった what is it that I'm trying to think of? What are you thinking?
マユリを置いてきた。
マユリを置いてきた. So like he left Mayuri behind. あの足でもまとい an encumbrance. あの足でまとい Matoi me. Matoi me. I want to look that up really quickly. Me's coming up a lot. And I know that's like I've learned this, I feel like, adding it at the end of a sentence in the same way that it's definitely not going to be in the N2-4. I think this is like an N2 N1 type of a situation. This may require looking outside of this. Oh, we're going to N2. And why is it K, nothing. Nani. So we'll look that up over here. So we know we can go to, I figured this out, shift, no, not that. There we go. And then I could do shift this to get to hiragana. What if I go here? Okay. Me, bo. Me, bumbo ni nai. How to use me? This is saying N for grammar. Walk me through it. Teach me. Me, utsume no basu. Are you just showing me eyes? Haibo? Go haime. This better not just be a counter. Why would that be the case? Mi no me. 意味は何ですか? 絵で分ける. Me. Amame. Yeah, this should be this. So you're taking a verb and adding me in the masu form without the mas. You take an e adjective, you take the e and the na. So this is 少し私は甘めでも意味は何ですか? 説明。めは程度を表す形状や一緒に使うことは少しという意味の少し意味は少し to the degree, just a little bit, a small amount. Okay. Me, small amount. So where are we going with this? We go back to having this open, and we go back to having this open. So, mato. So this is a one whole adjective. Get back here. Here we go. So we took off the last e and put a me. So it's like ashitemo toi me. So she's just a little bit, that little burden. She's a little distraction. Ano that, and then one more time. Ashide matoi me. That little drag, a little burden. Oop. Yeah, I've if you've applied to jobs in the past 2 years or so, there's this weird gap of some people never respond to you. They just never hear from them. He just goes into like the universe and disappears. And sometimes you just no email. They just randomly give you a call. So that was kind of a fun little quick call about a potential opportunity that they wanted to talk through. So anyhow, I'm going to get at least another 30 minutes in to get more of the story. Visual novels, I think, are like this. I know at a certain point you go through and you make decisions, but I've yet to make a decision in the game. And I'm very curious to get to that point where we make a decision. So for now, what did we say? What did we're in our inner monologue. 連れてくるべきではなかった is not so to bring somebody along 連れてくるべきではなかったべきではない so let's go look up べきではない so that we fully understand this because I personally べきではない should not so basically he's saying I should not have brought her along. I shouldn't have brought her along. Bringing her along is something I shouldn't have done. あいつの that she あいつの安全を一番に考えていたつもりなのに so even though this is usually like even though despite the fact that the plan like the number one thing that I thought of was her safety. Her safety was number one, even though 俺は油断していたようだ. So even though the number one priority ahead of this was was her safety, even though negligence. He was negligent. It seems I was negligent. ひとまず for now, the time being 携帯に電話してみよう 携帯してみよう Now I should try calling her on the phone basically. Blah blah blah. That is not at all what that is. What are you okay? Okay. 場合によって so depending on that 場合によってはここに呼びつければいい so I should try calling her. Maybe she'll come here. そう思って自分の携帯を取り出した電源を入れる and he turned the power on. This is the first time we've seen the screen on. Before now it's been all black makuro. And then it's saying something. What is he saying? 途端に so just as soon as 着信音が鳴き出す just as soon as you turn it on, the ringtone starts ringing.
メールか?
Mail? An email? これは so it's from this email address SGEG. これは普通のメールではなく it's not a normal mail. 動画付きのmovie メールだ there's a video attached. This is an email with a video attached. 送信者は as for the sender 送信者は見覚えのないアドレス it's an address that I don't recall, I don't remember. 不審と思いつつ so while he was like thinking, so つつ is kind of like even though, despite, so while thinking, while having a doubt, while thinking with a little bit of a doubt, movie を再生してみる 再生をしてる the movie like basically started playing. Noise のような音と映像が延々と垂れ流すだけだった So it's just this endless noise and this kind of like fuzz. It's just that's all that was happening. もしかしてperhaps いたずらか Maybe this is just a joke, a trick. いたらずか I don't have this one in there. 新しい言葉あるいは okay ミサケクリスによるなんらによる何らかの攻撃か Maybe this is like some type of attack from ミカセクリスこのノイズは実は人をおかしくさせる させる快音波だったりするとか、すれ音波 sound wave だってするとか。So he's wondering if this is some kind of a prank or thing. いや、あの女にアドレスを教えた覚えはないので、I don't remember giving her my address. それはさすがに考えすぎだそう。So as usual, I'm just overthinking this. So this is where I'm saying sasuga. Sasuga is like, it's so like that person. So it's like so expected of me to overthink this. So just once again, I'm overthinking this.素直に再生してしまった。間抜けプリに in the style of stupid style of 俺は小さくしたそもそも in the first place そもそも今はこんなものに構っている to care about 構っている場合はではない so I don't even care about that it's not something I care aboutムービーメールの再生を途中で止め so the movie stopped アドレス帳から最寄りの携帯を呼び出す so he then called 最寄りphone
前よりなぜ出ない
why aren't you like why aren't you coming why aren't you answering the phone basically こうなると given the situation こうなると解消に come on there we go for some reason this isn't working right now 解消に come on 踊らざる I don't know why it's not coming up with this let's double check here turn back 戻らずoh言えない I can't turn back like I can't go back to the place so why won't she answer だがそこで待った so this is the 三ヶ瀬クリスと鉢合わせ running into したら if I run into her again面倒なことになる it'll become a whole thing
まさかマキセクリスめ前よりをさらったな
so he's like oh maybe there's no way did she take Mayuri
機関のやり方か
he's like that woman that's such a authority thing to do that's the way the authority does things that's the way this agency does things Mayuri を置いていくという置いていく選択肢は俺のはなかった didn't have a choice 過保護とは思いつつも so while thinking about my overprotectiveness どうしても目が離せないのだ like, unable to take his phone off the call 妹的存在は放っておくと勝手にふらふらとどこかへ行ってしまいそうな危ういがある I'm just really lamenting over like it's like his little sister and how do you put her in this situation どこかとはすなわちここではないどこか that she's not here. Where is she if she's not here? 昔からマヨリさんはそういうところがあった。She's always been there. 俺が法院教魔となってのもそんなマヨリのあいういが芸人だったりする。
戻るしかないか。
戻りしかないか。I can't go back. また8階まで階段登るかと思いとげんなりした。But I was tired. Needed to go back up the stairs, but I was tired. 会場へと戻るとドクター中鉢の his 会見がちょうど exactly just as it ended. So he got back upstairs just as it ended. 誕生は無人で there was nobody on stage. すでに too late. 発明家は退席した後だった。So, it's too late. The fake inventor has already left. 20年ほどの聴取もあの帰り自宅を始めようとしている。So, and all the 20 members of the audience have already started gathering their things to return home. マユリはすぐに見つかった。So he was quickly, immediately found her. 会場の隅で一人でキョロ looking around キョロと周囲を見回している。So he's looking around all over from the corner. どうやら拉致されたわけではなかったらしい。Like there's no way it's impossible that she was already kidnapped. べきではない。Where was our wake? Wakeではいけない. Can't afford for her to have already been captured. 近くにミカセクリスの姿を見当たらない。So she couldn't even find the Kurisu. He couldn't find her either. これは俺にとって so for me, from my standpoint, 好都合だった。So that was convenient. So like he didn't see her. That's a good thing. So he needs to find Mayuri, but at least he's not going to run into
あの女、
クリス。
俺におじけづいたか。
これね、おじけづいたか。So basically saying like, oh, that girl, she's scared of me. She's terrified of me. She lost her nerve.
今日のところは見逃してやるとしよう。
やっかろう。That's right. やっかろう。今日のところは見逃してやるとよ。So, やる to overlook. やるとしよう. So you should have overlooked me. You should have messed with me basically. というわけで周囲を警戒しつつマヨリの元へ駆け寄った。 rush over, run up to.
マユリ、なぜ電話に出ない？そろそろ帰るぞ。
Why didn't you answer your phone? そろそろ slowly, quietly, gradually. 帰るぞ. Let's go.
あ、おかり。メタルウーパがいなくなっちゃった。
Oh no, she lost her metal. Oopa. Shonpari, downhearted, rejected. Shonpai kao de ore ni utairu kuru. She raised her head to me. She said the saddest, the most downhearted, dejected face possible.
いなくなった。
Inakunatta?
勝手に動き出したのか。それは実にファンタジーだな。
Katte ugokidashita no ka? What, did it get up on its own and walk away? それは実に fantasy da na. Like, it can't just disappear. What are you talking
どう
about?
したみたい。
Otoshita mitai. Like she tried. It's like I dropped it. It's like I dropped it. Naruhodo. Sore de sagashite ita ka. Sagashite ita no ka. Jitsu wa doudemo koto da. It's an inconsequential thing. Like, you know, he'll look for help
見つ
help
から
her
ないな
look,
ら
but
諦めろ。
it's not really
また
important.
当てればいい。
Mitsukaranai nara. If we can't find it, just give up. Mata attarebai. Like we'll win that again. It's the rare, but like it's if you can't find it, just give up. We'll get it
当
again.
たりっこないよ。だってね、メタルウーパはネットオークションで1万円近いプレミアがついてるんだよ。
Okay. So you're saying like we won't get it again. Datane, after all, because the metal upa, when it's on net auction, it's on eBay, it's ichiman, which is about $100. Well, roughly, less now, but about $100. Chika premium. It's a premium. There's like a there's a premium attached to it. Like it's $100. It's $100. Nani? What? So, そんな値が小さいおもちゃに that's about that price on that small toy?
マユリよ。
マユリよ。
一体どこで落としたのだ。
一体どこ落とした？ where in the heck did you drop it? 落としたのだ。Like why in the heck would you drop it? Let go again.
わかんないから探してるんだよ。あと見つけても売らないからね。
わかんないから探してるんだよ。あと見つけても if we look for it 売らないからね。Like you're not gonna wanna sell it, right? Like if we find it, you wanna sell it.
その1万円、この俺の研究資金にしてやる。
He's basically saying like, yeah, we sell it like that. 10,000 yen, like my research, like my research funds してやる。
だから売らないってば。マユシーの名前書いちゃったし。
だから売らないでは say you won't sell it. If you don't say いやMayuriの名前書いちゃったし I already wrote my name on it. というわけで目を皿のようにしてメタルウッパを探すことにした。So he started looking for it. Helped her look for
だ
it.
ってる。ウーパさん出ておいで。
I do remember. So when I watched the anime, even though I watched the wrong one, I remember Totoru. However she sang that, she would always kind of say that as a little catchphrase. Uppa-san, dete oide, come out. 前よりがその風に呼びかけているが出てくれわけがない。So she said that, but there's no way that's gonna come out. ちなみに, by the way, トトルとは前よりの好きなフレーズでいろいろな場面で 口にする. So in very various situations, she says that's her favorite phrase. 意味は聞いたことはない. It's like I haven't asked her what it means. メタルーパはなかなか見つからなかった. Wasn't able to, is not very easy to find. ということは落としたのは会場内ではなくカプセルトイが置いてある7階の踊り場の方なのだろうか. So they couldn't find it. Excuse me. They're saying like maybe she didn't drop it in the press hall. Maybe she dropped it on the stairwell outside of the capsule toy area. あるいは or perhaps maybe 落ちているメタルバを拾った人物が so maybe somebody picked it up. プレミアム価格に目がくらみ持ち書いた可能性がある. So there's also a chance that somebody who knew what it was worth found it, picked it up. それを想像すると俺は悔しさに so with a bitterness much to chagrin 身もだえるしかなかった so he was writhing in agony, did nothing but writhe in agony at this guess, at that thought.
金にしか興味のない下劣なやつめ。恥を知れ。
Say, あのれ myself 金にしか興味のない下劣なやつめ恥を知れ shame on you おかりもねまゆりに食味を入れられるとは食味 thrust to charge 食味をいられるとは so she what? んだ何の声は今の声は
悲鳴かな
A scream? I wonder? 普通じゃない It wasn't normal